You cannot completely disassociate from the world, because the witness is one side of the wave, the other side of the wave is perception, sensations, thoughts, and feelings. And you can never get rid of them. This is also a very important thing to accept. This world is not going anywhere. Even if you want to get rid of it, it's not possible. This needs to be very clear, very clear. So Vairagya means accepting that the discomfort is going to continue, but I am not going to be hurting anymore. I never got hurt anyways before also. I just assumed hurt. Now I quit fooling myself. I'm not going to assume anymore. This is Vairagya. I am not the experience. Becoming very clear about it. Very important again and again to reach there. I'm not the doer, I'm not the experiencer. Then only you can say, yes, I'm grounded in Viveka. Without that, there's no grounding. God and devil are two sides of the same coin. This is a bitter pill for the ego to swallow. It does not want the devil, it only wants the God or the saint. No, both are going to be there. They are going nowhere. The opposites. Yeah, instead of looking at them as only I want one and I don't want the other, being comfortable with the opposites. The world is opposites. Perception, sensation, thoughts, and feelings are born as couples. There is always bad and good, happy and sad, right and wrong, pleasant and unpleasant. You cannot say, I want one and I don't want the other. Becoming comfortable with the opposites, both of them are okay. That is Vairagya. You will reach non-duality when you don't see them as two anymore. Before you reach there, you have to become comfortable with them, no? When you become comfortable with them, then only they merge into one. And then you don't see two anymore. That transitioning phase, that's where you will keep jumping into the Viveka boat and then again into Vairagya. For a little while there'll be Vairagya and you'll slip back into Viveka, and you really have to work on this. Weed out the illusion, come to reality. You will come to Vairagya in some cases, but in some cases of attachment, there again, I need to work again. So for some time there is going to be shuttling between Viveka and Vairagya. Mentally be prepared for that. It's not one gate closes and the other opens. Yes, there has to be a transition phase. Recognize the shuttling between the two if it has started happening. Respect it, honor it. Yes, it's happening, I agree. Maybe I need a little more grounding. So then repeat your Viveka on your own. If it's not happening, come to a retreat, but get grounded in Viveka, and that will automatically blossom into Vairagya. If you have the eagerness to see and you have that much earnestness for your own journey, then of course everything is possible. But if you don't have it, how much ever Ekta shows you, but you don't want to see, then it's not going to happen. An ostrich closes its eyes. It doesn't want to see the enemy. No, you have to see the enemy. You cannot escape. Escapism will not take you up. So only if you're ready to see what is being shown, then only you can progress. Otherwise, no. Then you do 24 days, what? You stay 6 months, you come and live in my house. It will not work for you because you are not ready to see. Do you see that? You have to be ready to see. Then you have to have the humility to recognize that, oh, I'm slipping here. I'm wrong here. I cannot see. If humility is lacking, honesty is lacking, authenticity is lacking, Maharaj has given these answers already. Then it's not happening. 24 days, 24 years, and it will not happen. If you have that intensity, it can happen now, in one moment. One moment. First quality Maharaj said, eagerness to see. It's a very hard thing to look away from the world and really want to turn within and see. There is no cause and no effect. Everything is moving parts of the same waking screen projection. You are saying this moving part is the cause of the next moving part is the cause of the next moving part. No, it is all one waking projection. There is no A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D. This is just a story of cause and effect by connecting the dots on the screen. That abstract painting is abstract. It has no forms in it. You are seeing forms and saying this came first, then this came, then this came, then this came, then this came. And you're creating cause and effect. You're creating time. Cause and effect itself implies time. Time is not there. There is just one waking projection. You are seeing moving parts in a waking projection, connecting the dots and creating a story of time. And time leads to the story of cause and effect. None of it is true. None of it is true. In this waking projection, you're not seeing it as a waking projection. Yes? So consciousness becomes restless. It does not know why it is restless. It is simply not seeing itself in its true reality. Yes? It is seeing in parts, in moving parts, and that is a mess. Seeing it in moving parts is a mess. Seeing that there is real sensation, there is emotion, there is perception of hurt, there's perception of whatever, murder, whatever, negativity. When you start isolating moving parts in the whole projection, consciousness is going to be in turmoil. That is dukkha. When it sees the whole thing as, no, it's all me, it's a waking projection, now it comes down. That is the mess, that is the chaos. Dukkha, the sorrow. The sorrow comes from only one thing, not seeing reality as it is. Simple. Because he was being brought from the Dvaitam to the Advaitam. Some way Arjuna turned within, some way. At least the enamoring idea of karma and karma phalam will make you turn inwards, turn away from the world. Some way to help the Dvaitam path person turn within. He's given a tool, but he's meant to drop that tool to move ahead. You cannot hold on to it. Next chapter, he nullifies everything he said in the previous Karma Yoga chapter. He cancels it out with Jnana Yoga. Yeah? So there is no question of cause and effect, he says. Same Krishna, same Arjuna, new chapter. So he's bringing him up. It's like the child is maturing from nursery to KG to primary to middle school to high school, like that. If you really go to Bhagavad Gita, it is the pure path of moving from duality all the way to non-duality. The entire path is line. But you cannot hold on to any one chapter and say, oh, this is my path. That's where you will fall. You keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. In the end, he says, Arjuna, everything that I said is false in the last chapter. The moment you open your mouth, it is lies. Yeah, so he cancelled all 18 chapters in the end. That is his real Rupa, the truth, the all-encompassing reality. That first it appears to be everything, and then all that which was everything is seen as nothing. Nothing means your dukkha is because you think you are just the waker. No, now you see you're the dreamer, you're the deep sleeper, you're the turiya. Oh, all of these also collapse, and there is only the turiyatita. You are the ocean. Now there is no dukkha left. Silence. That everything was just lies. It's all nothing. Can you do anything first of all? Have you ever done anything till today? That is the question. I've never done anything. I have never managed to do anything. I've only lied to myself, manipulated myself, fooled myself that I'm in control. This recognition is important. Pick up and see you've never done anything. You cannot do. Simply witness. You'll be at peace. Simply witness. It is not in your hands. Has this become clear, or are you still trying to be that control freak, trying to control life? Can you start accepting it? You want to control it, you want to be the doer, and see the truth. You're not in control. Moment to moment to moment. And it's going to poke your ego. It's going to poke your ego really hard. How am I not in control? I want to be in control of this. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Do you know this? That will poke you again and again and again. You've seen the truth, you're not in control. You're faking it now, and you'll feel fake again and again. You'll feel like you're pretending again and again. Be ready for this. You will feel fake every time you open your mouth. Every time you speak, you will feel fake. Every time you do something and think, I am doing it, instead of seeing the flow making it happen through that body mind. Every time the doership comes up, you will feel, I am fake. It's going to pinch you, pinch you, pinch you, pinch you, pinch you. It's a good pinch. It's a reminder, stop faking. Come to the witness level and simply witness, be at peace. Take it as a good pinch, something that is there by nature to remind me of who I am. Buddha got enlightened at 36. Body continued till 82. All projections that were meant to come, they came. From that samskara, the desire came, the desire created a mental projection. Buddha stopped at the mental and he did not let the physical manifestation happen. He was so strong there. You can also get there. But at the mental level, didn't the thought arise? Yes, didn't the feeling arise? Wasn't there the perception sensation at the mental level? He took care of it there. It never manifested at the physical, gross level for him. You can get there. He's given you the magic word, pure vijnana, pure seeing. Simply seeing whatever happens. Whatever happens at the mental level, if you don't hold on to it, don't grasp it, it does not manifest at the physical gross level. At the mental level, if you grasp, what happens? 100% manifests at the physical level. Vijnana is simply seeing. Next stage is Sanya, where I say I like it, I don't like it. The moment I like it, there is Vedana, pleasant Vedana. I don't like it, there is unpleasant Vedana. So Vijnana leads to Sanya, Sanya to Vedana. This is so fast. He's saying, see, if you're really there, alert, awake, right at pure Vijnana, you can stop it. It will not go to Sanya. But if you slip at Sanya, Sanya, Vedana are a couple. Then it will go all the way to Vedana. There's your second chance. At Vedana, you felt the pleasant sensation or unpleasant sensation. There also you can stop. You have two chances at the mental picture level. You already feel the pinch inside if you're going to do a negative action. It stops you. That is the Vedana. Stop there. And the manifestation will stop. But at the Vedana level also you give in, then it is going to manifest. Any label will be fake, will give you the feeling of being fake, being pretending. Just like you said, I'm pretending to be a mom. Even pretending to be an Advaitin, recognize that. No, no labels, nothing, nothing, nothing. That's why I told you just strip that name off with that recognition. I'm not this name. Just keep ripping off, ripping off, ripping off. You'll come to a point where there is nothing. The answer to who am I is nothing. That's it. Don't add analysis to it. Don't fill it up with words. Just be with that nothing. The I will shake. It hates that. You recognize it, right? It hates it. It shakes it. It's craving for something. It wants to hold on to an identity. Recognize it. And don't give in to it. It is the tanha before the Vedana. You recognize it. Recognize it. Yeah? And there it calms down. Yeah? When it calms down, you have not created an impression. But if you give in to this, what happens? You react. Yeah, you react, you create a story, you get lost in identity. That moment you've created a sankhara. That's how Vijnana goes to Sanya, goes to Vedana and creates a sankhara, an impression. Very clear how impression is created?